Oh, Mike, how you doing? Uh, Running a little behind. I had to work today, and it was snowing on the way home. Roads were in bad shape. I got off at 7, and it took me up to almost 8 o'clock to get home. Uh, so about 45-minute drive because it takes me a while to go from my workstation to my car. That's about 50. I mean, to the front. So that's about 15, maybe 20 minutes to go from my workstation to where my car is actually at. Then I had to clean the car off, and so I did all right. I mean, I did a lot better than I thought I was going to. So we're just trying to get everything still set up. So give me a moment. I'm glad you made it. Hmm. So trying to get everything set up. Hey Tim, how you doing, sir? Glad you was able to make it. I like I said, I put up a video earlier that showed the what it looked like while I was at work, and I got a video I'll be putting out later uh, that shows part of my drive home and what the roads were like. So I won't put that out tonight. I'll put it out another night or two. Although I got one I'll may put out tonight or tomorrow night that shows what it looked like before I left from work. So we're going to get all that in there and get that going. But so now we're just trying to get everything set up. No, do that. So huh, give me a all right, let's get this going. Sorry, people. It's just been a tough days. Usually it's my day off, as most of you know. So hey Jerry, how you doing, man? I don't know what's going on here, people. There we go. All right, that's up there. So anybody wants to come up can come up. Uh, it was like I said, it was a very fun drive home today. All that snow and stuff, and had to clean the car up before I went to work. Had to clean the car up before I left work. I hate winter. It is not any fun at all, if you ask me. The cold, the snow, and all that good happy stuff. So Tim, Jerry, Mike, welcome everybody. Uh, Anybody listening in the background, what's going on here? So anyway, there it is. Anybody wants to come up? Jerry, Tim, Mike, any of you want to come up? You're more than welcome to come up. I, Loads of fun, loads of fun. Yeah, we got a little bit of ice. The trees were more covered in it than the cars. It was kind of like a freezing rain. So yeah, we did get some ice, but and it knocked down some limbs. But hey, Jerry,
Hey, can you hear me?
how you doing, boss?
Yeah, okay. I went to the Onion Festival today or this morning.
Jerry, I don't know if you hear me or not because I can't hear you.
No, let me try. I can hear you.
So
I'm gonna drop off and join back.
try something else. Well, Jerry dropped back off. Hopefully he'll come back up. But we'll get that going, hopefully. So anyway, I got 4 hours of overtime. It was nothing I really wanted to do, but we had one guy on vacation till he'll be back on Tuesday night, Wednesday. Hey, Monroe, how you doing, man? Come on up if you like. And I couldn't get anybody to cover for the full shift. I had one guy that was going to come in. He came in at 7, relieved me, and then I had so I went in and covered the other half because the one guy couldn't stay over.
Can you
guys
hear
in the
me?
chat, can you hear me? If you
I
can't
can
hear
hear
me,
you.
let me know. Or if you can hear me, let me know. Please just say yes.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear Jerry for whatever reason.
Okay.
And so is it my issue or is it Jerry's? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's do something else. Now, let's do something else. Now, there's delay there. Let's do something else. Now, there's delay there. Let's do something else. Now, there's delay there. All right, so there is. All right, I can hear it on this. So let's turn that back down. So, hey, Madeline, how you doing? Madeline, how you been? Welcome. Like I was saying, I had a fun drive home. It was 30 to 35 miles slower than normal. Hey, Jack, come on up, Jack. And remember now to get your link dropped, you're just typing the L's, nothing before it, nothing after it. So just type 3 L's, and whether it's capital or not, doesn't matter. And so we're just happy that we made it home without too much trouble. Like I said, it took me a little longer than normal, but that's all right. It took me about as long as it would have took me if I took 9 and 20 in normal conditions. Like I said, because I'm not in a hurry to get home usually. But in weather like this, I don't want to be on the road any more than I have to be. And maybe that's, no, that's, oh, I see the problem. Jerry, it was not you, it was me. All right, I see the problem. I had the wrong mic plugged in. So let's get you up here, Jerry. Now let's try it.
Can you hear me?
It was my problem, Jerry. It wasn't yours. I had the wrong earplugs plugged in.
No, okay. Yeah, I could hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Like I said, I just had the wrong speakers plugged in. I didn't have the earplugs. I had the speaker, and the speakers turned off, so I wasn't going to hear you. And then I just realized what I'd done. So it was my fault, not yours.
No worries. That's why. And this time I went through the pinned link instead of the one in the chat.
Yeah.
Thinking that was the problem.
Well, it might have been, but I doubt it. Like I said, I had my desk speakers plugged in and turned off because that gives a revive. It gives you an echo if I have those used. If I use
Uh,
those, and I had my earplugs in, but I forgot to plug them.
understood. No,
And
I
I was
went.
just, like I said, I was a little more of a hurry because I got home, like I said, later than normal. Usually I'm off on Saturdays, but like I said, one of my guards is on vacation, and the guard that worked day shift today, somebody picks him up and takes him home, so he couldn't stay over. And I couldn't ask the guard that was working night shift to do a double, so I came in and covered the 4 hours. He came in at 7, relieved me, and then I beat Boogie back home. Uh, and I average probably somewhere around 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. And this is in areas that I usually do 70, 75. So, I was driving a whole lot slower than normal, but I was still one of the faster cars on the road. I happen to have an all-wheel drive vehicle, and it gets better traction than a lot of other vehicles. It's better than a front wheel or rear wheel. Front wheel's better than rear wheel in snow and that kind of stuff. But all-wheel and four-wheel drive is better than front wheel, and a lot of people just have front-wheel drive. So, and then some people just are very cautious and drive very slow. And some of them drive very slow even when the weather's good. So I passed a few people on the way into work. On the way home. But I knew that would probably happen. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I took a video of my drive home, Monroe, and I'll probably put that up in a couple of days. I took a video of what it looked like before I went in. I'll either put that up tonight or tomorrow night. Then the next night I'll put up my drive in. I don't want to put up too many in a row. So it'll probably be tomorrow, because tonight this will go up. And then Monday night, Sunday night into Monday, I'll put up what it looked like going in. And then Monday into Tuesday, I'll put up the drive home. I put up one today, a short, just so everybody could see what was happening, and to let people know that come to my stream, that if they check that out, they would understand that, hey, if I'm late or don't make it, this is why. It was coming down. Matter of fact, we had a semi going out there at work, and he went up the hill part way and stopped, probably do some paperwork and stuff. And that was a huge mistake, because after he sat there a few minutes, probably about 5-10 minutes, he couldn't get going again back up the hill. So he backed down and tried to get a running start. Well, it took him 20-30 minutes just to where he could get a running start to get out. Maybe longer. Because like I said, it was in bad shape, and it just took him a while to where he could get going and leave the yard. Well, he was actually out of the yard, but leave the driveway. And like I said, if he had just kept going when he went out, he probably would have made it. But yeah, so it just takes a while sometimes to understand. But a lot of semis think that, oh well, we got all this weight, we're going to get, we can move. Well, you got to remember, when you're going uphill, you're pulling all that weight. So if you don't have good traction, it's going to be hard to move that trailer. Now, once you've got your momentum going forward, you just don't want to stop going up the hill. You may slow down a little bit because of the road conditions, but you don't want to stop because you may not get going again. And it's like me when I came home. I got two little hills, and one's a lot steeper than the smallest one. But I don't want to stop on that, even though I got all-wheel drive, because I may have to roll back down the bottom of the hill and get going again. I slowed down because at the top of it, there's a set of railroad tracks that are pretty rough. But once I got up there, I got across that. And then the next hill, I built up my momentum slowly. And then at the very end of the hill is where it's the steepest. And I got up that with no problem. And then and you'll see this in the video. I did see a car off in the back road heading, almost the last leg of my drive home. There was a car off in the ditch, it's in the neighborhood, not my neighborhood, but it's in a neighborhood. So either he tried to avoid hitting something and slid off the road, or he was going too fast and slid off the road. And if you're going too fast in the right, you can slide off. That's why I say you always got to be careful in snow and ice not to overdrive. Like I said, I had to slow down a few times because the roads were a little worse than what I wanted to do the speed that I was doing in. So I'd slow down until I got through that area. And but like I said, with four-wheel drive, it makes it a lot easier. Not four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive makes it a lot easier to keep traction most of the time. But I did lose it a couple times. I didn't slide or anything, but I could see that I got this warning system that lets me know that, hey, this is a little slick area. You might want to slow down because you're going to lose traction if you go too fast. And that's what I do. You just let off the gas. You don't hit your brakes. Let off the gas. Let the inertia of the road slow you down. And so you just keep going, and that's how you do it. But it's not a fun drive. Because like I said, you make a mistake and you can end up in a ditch. You can end up hitting somebody or getting hit by somebody. And none of the three are good outcomes, although the ditch would be the better outcome. You just have to wait there until somebody comes along and tows you out. And I've been there and done that. So, I understand that. When I first moved out here, there was a couple times I had back rear wheel drive, not front wheel drive. Like I said, that's the worst kind of drive to have is rear wheel in this kind of weather. And so I lost it a couple times. And I was, like I said, never hit anybody. But I have ended up out in a ditch. One time I ended up out in a cornfield, driving a little too fast and hit some ice. And couldn't make the turn. I just rode it out, went out in the cornfield, and I had to get towed out. So, like I said, you learn. That's where you learn is to make mistakes. And I've also done 360s on the road. Lucky nobody was coming along, so nobody got hit, nobody got hurt. But it sure scared the heck out of me when you do a 360 in a car, So I was driving on 90, the thruway, which is a paid part of the road. And it was in great shape. And I got off at an exit, and it wasn't in great shape. And I just spun around in a 360. And like I said, luckily nobody was coming off because it's one of these ramps that you pass each other when you're going off. The other one's coming on. You pass each other. And there was nobody coming off, nobody behind me. So I just did a 360. Scared the bejesus out of myself, but nobody got hurt. And I learned just because the throughway's in good shape don't mean the exits are. I hadn't even been out here 6 months yet when that one happened. And so, like I said, you live and you learn, hopefully. And that's what I've tried to do. And Team Matilda. And so that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. So how's everything going, Jerry?
Yeah, okay. I went to the Onion Festival this morning or today. I got 20 more videos that I have to edit so I can upload throughout the next few days.
Okay.
I did a few. I only uploaded maybe 5 or 2, 3.
Yeah.
And a few shorts, but I got a whole bunch more. How did you take the video on an action camera? The drive?
Yeah.
That's good. But you got a GoPro?
What? Who?
Your drive.
No, I use my phone. I got a holder in the car that attaches to the dashboard, and I can put my phone in there and set it. I can either have it up and do like shorts, or I can turn it and do landscapes, which is If I do a longer video, I do them in landscape. Short, I do in portrait, I guess is what they call it.
Did you do? I'm trying to think of the time lapse. What I was thinking of.
No. I probably
Actually,
if I'd sit there and try to figure it out, I probably could do it. But what I do is I'll film for a little bit, talk about what's going on, put the phone on pause, the camera on pause, and then I'll start it up again. That video I think is around. Let me look here real quick. See what it says. It's a little over 10 and a half minutes.
well, that's not that bad. It's basically average.
Yeah, I try to keep them shorter anymore, but
Yeah, I try to do mine under 10. Every now and then there'll be a 10-minute.
yeah. Well, that like I said, I'm trying to keep them under 5 because they'll watch more of it.
Yep, exactly.
And but the drive is kind of hard to do that if you really want to show the drive.
Yeah, that's why I asked if it was a time lapse because it can be a
Paul
half-hour
Fruit, how
drive.
you doing? Welcome, Monets. How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. And if either one of you want to come up, there's a link at the top. You can click on that, and we'll bring you up. If you want to drop your channel link, just type in LLL, nothing before it, nothing after it, and my Nightbot will drop it for you. Or if you know how to do it yourself. You're more than welcome to drop your links. I don't know how to do it. That's why I always use an Nightbot. Like I said, when it comes to some of this stuff, I'm illiterate. I need to figure all that stuff out more. But right now, this is more for a hobby. It's not for any other reason. I do it because I enjoy it, especially the live streams. I really like the live streams. Indiana State University, they're playing in the NIT this year. They won their first game. I think they're the number 1 rated team in the NIT, which is the bottom 32 of the top 100. So that would make them 69. But in NIT, you play all your games. The best team plays their games at home. So if I'm right and they're the number 1 team, they'll play every game they play will be at home. And I wish I could catch it on TV, but all they ever show really is the NCAA tournament, and I don't mind watching that, but I prefer to watch the team I want to watch, which is my home team. Indiana State University is in Terre Haute, Indiana. So yes. Good evening from New York State. Not New York City, but New York State there, Moniz. The capital district of New York is where I'm at. And I finally did my taxes today.
That's good. You still had another 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so.
I knew I was going to have to pay. I had to pay the state, but I got back some from the federal. I had to pay the federal, but I got some back from the state. But I had to pay the federal more than I had to pay the state. So I lost a few $100.
Does Indiana have a state income tax?
I work. Yeah, New York has a state income tax.
But Indiana?
No, I work. I live in New York.
Okay.
Indiana's where I'm from.
When you were over there.
Indiana has a state income tax too, but they don't tax your Social Security. And I don't think New York does either. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do that. I think that's why I got money back from them.
Yeah, we don't have.
Are they tax less of it? The state taxes a lot more of your the federal taxes a lot more of your Social Security. They really do. They tax it a lot higher.
Yeah, we only got the federal. We don't have a state income tax.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. That's one of the things about you in Florida, and I think Alaska's the same way.
Yeah, we've been like that ever since I remember. Ever since I started working. So I don't know how far back, if 70s, 60s. I don't know how far back into the past. Well, maybe we've never had an income tax. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've always worked I've always worked and lived in places that had income tax. Now in Indiana, some counties have an income tax, and my home county doesn't. So if you live in a county that does it and work in a county that does, the county that you work in will take your income.
Oh, that's
They
crazy.
will tax it. They will tax it. Now, if you work in a county that doesn't tax it, and you live in a county that does, they're going to tax it. So you're going to, I always tell people that's moving to Indiana, I said, find out if they have income tax for that county. Because if they don't, you don't want to move to a county that does, and because they'll tax your income, even though you're working in a different county. And see, in Indiana, the counties have to approve the income tax. And Vigo County has never and probably will never approve an income tax, which is my home county, Vigo County, where I'm from. And a lot of counties don't have it. And like I said, the ones that don't, I don't think they'll ever approve it anymore. Because the ones that do, they've had it for years. And probably, we'll only have it for so long till this is paid off, and then they never get rid of it. It's like any bureaucracy.
Yeah.
You create a department of whatever, and whether it's federal or state, they will find, once that problem's solved, they'll find something else to do, because they're not giving up their job. They're not giving that cushy payment up, and so that's what's going to happen. They're just going to say, And it's like you take the state thruway authority; they took over the Erie Canal as well. And so, just because that gives them another reason for being, keeps their income coming in. And so it's, you don't ever want to create a bureaucracy that you're not willing, that you can't get rid of unless you're willing to have them forever. It's just that simple. Yeah, you're getting your eggs, I see.
Yeah, I picked up 5 earlier. There's 4 there.
Yeah. It's almost a dozen.
Yeah, but that's, even if they lay 4 eggs a day and you still get your dozen a week, that's more than I'm going to eat.
I eat somewhere between 6 and 8 eggs a week, because I usually take a couple eggs. About 3 or 4 times into work, I take 2 eggs. If you've seen that video where I have that pan that cooks the eggs in a round shape, and then I got a container I can put them in, and I take them to work, and then I warm them up, and I have egg sandwiches for lunch. Egg sandwich. I'll have 2 eggs, but just 1 sandwich. And that's what I had for lunch today. I had ham and cheese for supper tonight. Because being at work, I wasn't going to be able to cook something here at home. So tomorrow, who knows? Maybe I'll have pizza. I have to, for supper. I'm talking about.
Is it overcast over there, or is it clear skies?
Over here?
Yeah.
For us, it's nighttime. It's dark.
It's already what is it, clear or overcast?
It was overcast coming home.
Okay.
Because it was snowing.
I just saw it. Okay, you won't see it. Let's just see the full moon.
No. And like I said, it's going to be overcast most of the night, if not all night. It's supposed to get down to around a -6 Celsius tonight.
Oh no, son.
Oh yeah.
Way too cold. I think we'll be in the be in the 60s.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be hunkered down. I'm just going to hunker down. Hopefully, it'll all be straightened out by Monday morning when I got to go into work. If it looks like it's straightened out tomorrow afternoon, I might get out of the apartment and go somewhere. But I'll probably have to clean the car off again before I go anywhere. Like I said, I had to clean it off before I went in this morning. And then when I got off work, I had to clean it off. It was even more covered. This morning, it was a little bit of ice on top of the snow. And now going home, it was just snow covered. And so, there might have been some ice on the headlights and stuff. There's a little bit of ice, but nothing major there. That could clean it off real easy. But on top of the car, it was pretty much just snow. And
Where's Tim originally from?
Huh?
Where is Tim originally from? Tim in the chat. Do you know where he's from?
Who's that?
Tim?
Tim?
Yeah.
He's from Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York?
Yeah, but he lives in Angeles, the Philippines right now.
So he doesn't miss that inclement weather at all.
No, he doesn't miss that at all. Tim lives in Angeles, but he's from Buffalo, New York. So I used to live right outside of. I used to live almost halfway between Buffalo and Rochester.
I've only been to Buffalo, Texas. A small little town.
Yeah, I lived in a town called Leroy, and I also lived in a village called Elba. Elba, if you blinked, you probably would miss it.
Yeah, I've been through some of those towns before.
Yeah. It did not have a stop. Elba does not have a stoplight.
Yeah, I was gonna say some don't even have the blinking light.
I'm trying to remember if it. I don't recall a blinking light in Elba. Now, Leroy had a few. They had more than a couple stoplights. It was a little bit bigger. Yeah, Tim just says, I don't miss the snow and cold weather. Tim, yeah, I'm not going to miss this when I retire. When I get out of here, I'm with you. I will not miss this.
No scraping ice, no.
Yeah. I mean, I do not like snow. I'd rather have cold than snow. I'd rather have snow than ice. So ice is the worst, snow's next worst, and then the cold. The cold, you get all dressed up and try not to go out into it too much. And if you're driving and it's cold, so what? You're in a car, it's got a heater, you know? But when you're driving in ice or snow, even though you got a heater and you're warm, there's always that chance for an accident, either because you make a mistake or somebody else makes a mistake. And so, like I said, you got to drive slower than you normally would, much slower, depending on whether it's ice or snow. And then you also got to be a lot more cautious in your driving. You got to pay a lot more attention. You can't just drive it like an automatic, saying, I've driven this route so many times, you know, and you're kind of just, hey, we got Jack coming up. We get Jack up here. Hey, Jack, how you doing, man?
Okay.
Jack didn't miss the snow either, do you, Jack?
A little bit. It's been some years.
You're nuts.
4.5 years late for work, but it's okay.
I hate the snow. Like I said, the only thing I hate more than snow is ice. And
I was just thinking about my cars back home up in Michigan. I'm like, man, if I can go back home, they're all rusted out.
Yeah.
How you been?
I'm just reading Tim. He says there's a town in New York that when you're entering and that you're leaving, signs are on the same post. Now that's small.
Wow.
Is there some sketchy place you want to be?
I've been pretty good, Jack. How you been, man?
Not bad. Not bad. Still alive somehow.
Like I said, I just paid my just did my taxes today. I used to do them in January all the time or February. February usually the first part of February, but last couple of years I've been a lot slower. I was a little faster this year. Last year I didn't do it till April.
I haven't done mine in a long time.
Like I said, I do mine every year. Like and the only reason I have to pay the federal is because I don't take any taxes out of my Social Security, and the federal taxes your Social Security. So much of it, you take so much off that they don't tax, and then which is very little. I mean, it's about a quarter of what I get. They don't tax. So about 3/4 of what I get, they tax. You know, and I don't. I'm going to tell you something. I am not that high in Social Security. I'm around what they call average. I'm about the average recipient of Social Security. and they're taxing that much. That's ridiculous. That really, the federal's taxing that much. I mean, I understand taxing it. Don't get me wrong, especially the high. You got people getting $5,000 a month in Social Security. I'm nowhere near that. But I mean, I can understand saying, "Hey, look, there should be just like on employment tax. They have if you make it below this amount, you don't pay any taxes, and it's higher than what my social. That's almost as high as my Social Security. So if I was making that, what I'm making Social Security, if that was my income for working, I'd pay almost no taxes at all. So isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Last time I seen that, it was like a yellow form that comes in the mail like once every other year or whatever it is, for Social Security. It's like, if I claim disability, I can get $35,000 a year. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. My luck, I get caught and end up in prison or something.
If you got $35,000 a year in disability, you get more than I'm getting.
Wow.
I'm working.
I'm only 42.
Yeah. But see what they do. I don't know how much you've made with what you did. They go off what you made the last so many quarters. So you probably made some pretty good money when you were working back there in Michigan. So that's what they go off of. Well, I don't make that kind of money. Like I said, I'm lower middle class or working poor. I'm above that now with the Social Security, but I'm talking about without the Social Security, I'd be low middle class or upper working poor in that area. That's where I would be. But because I got my Social Security, I'm in middle class, pretty solid middle class. But that's only because I'm working still and I got my Social Security both. Now I would be with what I made this last year without the Social Security, I'd be lower middle class to just below middle class, depending on what state you live in. What I made the year before, because I didn't make anywhere near as much per hour, would have put me in lower middle class to upper working poor. But I mean, I went up by almost $200 or more a week.
Not bad. I'll be right back. And make
myself
coffee.
And boy, you got a lot of light there still, Jerry.
Yeah, it's still. Well, the camera also kind of exaggerates, but it's still plenty of light just because of the time change.
Yeah.
It's 7:49.
It was supposed to get around a 7:11, 7:20, something like that was supposed to be sunset here. But like I said, with the snow, you never saw the sun.
Yeah, you can't. I'm not sure when sunset is here, but it's after sunset. There's still daylight. But in the morning, it's still dark. It's 7:30 and it's still dark.
Yeah.
But it'll change here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Maybe by May.
Tim just posted a couple minutes ago that the town that has a sign for entering and exit on the same post is the town of Eagle, New York.
Eagle?
I've never heard of that place. But
that's that rooster without a feathers in a tail.
Yeah, I remember that one. He was there last week.
Yeah.
He said his brother or sister has a tail.
Yeah, the brother has tail feathers. So does his dad. Then there's only one dad here, only one rooster, so I know who the dad is.
Yeah. Could somebody have plucked the tail feathers out?
No, because he's been like that since I remember. So no, nobody plucked him out.
All right. Dens, how you doing, Dens? Welcome. Okay, now I've been to Letchworth Park quite a few times. A few times. I won't say quite a few. Been by it a few times as well. if you ever come to New York, Letchworth Park is a place you wouldn't mind going to see. It's got 3 falls. It belonged to, I believe the guy's name was Letchworth. It was a lawyer, owned all of it, all that land. And when he died, he left it to the state with a stipulation that it was going to be a park for everybody.
That's good.
And his house has been turned into downstairs is a gift shop and a restaurant, and then the rooms are for rent. And they got one room that overlooks all. You can see all 3 falls pretty much. And that one, you got to book that one long in advance. But it's really a nice park. But it's almost like the Grand Canyon of the East, because it's got a big canyon area. And like I said, it's got the 3 waterfalls and all that. LV, how you doing, LV? Welcome. Thank you for coming. And so yeah, LV showed up, but yeah, welcome back, Mike. Yeah, it's been a while since you've been on one of my live streams, LV. We're glad you made it. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. You want to know the truth? Like I said, I got a short up, Jack. If you look at it, you'll see how much snow was coming down while I was at work.
Yeah, I seen the video.
Huh?
I seen the video.
Dan,
Whoa.
Dan.
Oh, here I am.
How you doing,
Hey,
Dan?
Am I getting? Are we getting flashback or feedback?
I'm not
How's
getting any
that?
feedback. No.
Nope.
Yeah,
No, you're not getting feedback.
I heard
Okay.
I won, but I didn't say present.
Jack, what's going on? Deep South Texas, way deep, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's everybody?
I
I'm
changed it
doing
from
pretty
last
good
week.
now that I got home.
There's the chickens.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to. I need to edit a few videos before I go to sleep. I got 20 videos to edit.
Yeah. I
Wow.
had a fun drive home today, Dan.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, snow. I went in. One of my workers was on vacation. Take care, Jerry. One of my
Take
workers
care,
was on
Jerry. We'll
vacation,
see you next time.
and I needed 4 hours covered from 3 to 7 today, so I went in and covered the 4 hours. And I got a short up. You can see if you look at the short. I just put it up tonight or
All right, we'll
today.
take a look.
It'll show you. It was snowing pretty good, and I had to drive home in that, so it took me a while to get home. But I put that short up just so if anybody would check it out, I was letting them know, hey, I may be late to my live stream.
Mike is here. Elvie's here.
Yeah, Elvie's here. Mike's here. Tim's here.
Tim's here. Hi, Tim. Oh, Tim asked a question. Tim said, Tim was asking if I was going to go live on Good Friday. I'm not sure. Now that I'm thinking about it. Tim, what are you doing after church on Good Friday? You going to church on Good Friday? See, I'm not sure. Should I be doing a live stream on Good Friday? What do you guys think? Chime in and let me know.
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
Isn't Good Friday coming up?
Yeah, Good Friday's coming up. That's
I thought I got my
that's a
days
week
all
from
mixed up here.
I think it's a week from 2 weeks from yesterday, or a week from this coming Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe
Holy
Easter's
Week is
Easter's
next
the
Friday,
7th.
isn't it? Yeah.
I messed that up sober.
Oh, Tim's asking how we're doing. Well, it's been a slow recovery process for both of us. We're going to go to. I'm okay. I'm recovering, so I'm not worried about myself as far as I think. What I learned about what was going on with me is there's norovirus. I think they're calling it. I think norovirus is making its way through the Philippines, and so I could have caught something like that. It's very important to always wash your hands, no matter what. Wash it 3 or 4
Good
times.
Friday.
Yeah, because you there you go. Yeah, because you end up.
Jerry's right. He said Good Friday's this coming Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's this coming Friday. So, and then Ma'am Minnie, she's still, you know, she's in a neutral spot. She started taking antibiotics for that tonsillitis, but it's not clearing up very fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Ormoc tomorrow. We're going to go get a second opinion. She had a very fine ENT that took a look, and I think they've resolved a few of her issues, but we're probably going to go get a second opinion, go see another ENT. It's always a good idea when you're here in the Philippines to get as many people's opinions as you possibly can. You know, the way I handled my illness is that many of you know we mobilized a whole bunch of healthcare professionals instead of going to the hospital. I was able to find supervising doctor and nurses, assistants, phlebotomists, and all that team. So basically assembled my own team, and then they took care of me at home. So they hung IVs, Ringer's lactate, and all that other stuff in order to you forget to wash your hands. Anyway, and so I felt myself kind of like starting to recover, but it's been several weeks now, 3 or 4, and I'm still not 100%. The biggest thing was being so lethargic and I don't know how to explain it. Tired all the time, losing a lot of water, and so I was constantly hydrating with water, Gatorade, and those rehydration crystals. And of course,
Gatorade is not good for you.
No,
what's that?
Hold on, I'm going to ask you a question. Tim, are you moving very far from the place you've been living at for so long, or are you going to stay in the same neighborhood? Tim's packing up to move.
Yeah. I heard that the owner wants to take over the house again. That's kind of a weird feeling, when you have all your belongings in the house and then the owner shows up one day.
Plus, he's been there for how many years?
Yeah, it's quite shocking, and so.
Hey, midlife, welcome.
I think that's one of the benefits of. I wouldn't recommend necessarily that people buy real estate and then build their own homes. In fact, I'm only about 50-50. If I were to do it again, I have to really, really think about it. It's worked out fine, thankfully. But I wouldn't say that the first thing that I would tell somebody to do is go buy land in the Philippines and build your own house. I think that it makes a lot of sense to rent, for the first 4 or 5 years that you're here.
3 kilometers is not too bad there, Tim.
You don't want the burden of having to take care of all the things that come with owning a house.
I'm sorry, Dan. I've been a renter all my life. I don't know. I don't think I'll change.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to post a video once I edit it. Talks about the 5 top reasons why Minnie and I retired to the Philippines. And of course, you had sent me a message in response to one of my videos that said that the main reason would be the cost of rent, right? Is cheaper. And
the cost of living, yeah. Rent.
Cost of living in general, but since rent is our number one expense,
that's the number one expense.
Yeah, and so you don't want to. When you compare what I was paying in Sacramento right before we moved to the Philippines, we were paying $1,800 just for the air of the apartment, 650 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, $1,800 a month, double what I was paying in a mortgage.
Like plus I don't pay anywhere. I don't pay anywhere near that. But I know I can find a place in the Philippines that for the same thing I pay just rent, just my rent.
Oh, I'm sure.
A place to live, include my utilities.
Yeah.
Include my internet. And include everything for the apartment.
Well, in La Hogue, we had a small place that was only 2,500 square meter. 25 square meters. It was just a studio apartment, which is all we needed. 10 or 15 minute walk from where all the action is, right? And you could get to IT Park. We walk there most days. We just walk 10 or 15 minutes to IT Park, and everything that you need is there, in that IT. But La Hogue is not such a bad place to live. I'm telling you, it was a really nice place to live, and we were paying all in internet, electricity, water, the whole thing, $300 per month, American money. How
Well, like
can
I
you
said-
beat a deal like that? You
So
can't beat a
that's
deal
less
like
than what I pay for rent too.
Mm.
So,
Right.
like I said,
Right.
you know, even if I got a 1-bedroom at that same area, would be
Now,
less than what I'm paying.
Jack, you're not too far from where the action is, right? So what are you giving for rent right now, if you want to share it with us?
Zero.
Nothing.
Oh, well, that's the best deal in the world. See, now that's why I'm so spoiled. Like, for example, I'm testing out this new computer system. I'm on it now. This is the desktop or that I told everybody I was going to buy. And you know what ended up happening right after I buy it, right? I got people coming out of the woodwork saying, you got ripped off. You paid too much money. Honestly, if you know me, I really don't think about things like that. You know, once the money leaves my hand, and
Well-
once I make the deal, and
You're
the money
better off
leaves
building the one yourself.
yeah, I really don't think about it too much. You know,
My-
if someone
my
brings
only
up,
problem-
I'll
Go ahead.
usually tell them that, you know, hey, you know, money makes the world go around, and if I paid a few extra bucks for it, so be it. I hope that somebody gets some benefit out of that extra couple of $100 that I spent. But I never really think about stuff like that once the money leaves my hand. And when you're not paying rent, Jack, when you're not paying any rent, like we aren't, you know, your major expense is that electric bill that comes every month. It's a different ball game. It really is.
Just
you know?
just
It's a
internet,
different
food,
ball-
water, toiletries,
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean,
Yeah. And don't you chuckle? I don't know, Jack, if I can get a smile out of you, but when the electric bill or the water bill comes, don't you kind of look at it and smile and think to yourself, God dang, what a great life I'm living here. Gosh darn
You
it.
know what? The best
Yeah.
part about it,
Yeah.
I never see them.
That's even better. But see, here's the whole thing. Minnie and I, we have a household budget. This is why I see it, right? She handles all the numbers. The only reason why I see it is because she brings it to me. Oh, we got the water bill, and generally I'm not really interested in that stuff, as long as the monthly budget, the money we allocated for it, it covers it. So Minnie and I, we live on 32,500 a month is our budget. And we rarely exceed that. As a matter of fact, we stay under it. We stay under it pretty well, you
now,
know.
Dan, you said you're going to Oromont. Do you ever
Yeah.
watch Carefree Chris?
No, I don't.
Okay, I was
I
going to say.
think I know who that is, though.
Well, him and another guy, I can't think of the other guy's name. He's another vlogger. They're on a motorcycle trip, and they were in Oromont. They're out of there now, but the video's coming up from Oromont. They're talking about how much they like it there. And but I was on Steve Johnson's channel, the Expat Information Channel.
Yeah.
And I guess he'd been there and went to one of their group meetings. So they're beyond Oromont. They said they're going to take however long it is, whether it's a couple months or a few weeks. It doesn't matter. They're doing this long drive and stop in different places. Going to stay for a while and see the sights around those areas.
I don't know if you got Jack probably knows that. Oh, wait. Let's look over here. A couple questions. Mike is saying renting in the Philippines. Yeah, Mike is saying renting in the Philippines is not like North America. The renter can be made to repair for repair. That's true, but you know, and I learned a lot by watching the Philippine Information Channel with Steve. You know, because when you think about it, Steve moved there. I think I went back and I watched some of his earlier videos, and so I now know how much money he came to the Philippines with when he moved there. Of course, he's making more money than that now because, I mean, you know, cost of living and things like that. He's gotten adjustments on his Social Security pay or whatever it is he's living on, but also because of his success on YouTube. So, I mean, that $60 per month apartment, when he came to the Philippines, I think he said he brought in $1,200 a month gross income. I mean, you can't have a better life than that when the majority of the money is for is for other expenses like food and vacations and traveling around. But the reason why I enjoyed Steve in those early videos is because he showed how he went, he made the apartment his own. As Mike was saying, he paid for the repairs. He paid for putting in a Western toilet, and then which is a mess for me.
And
you
they
know?
paid to put the air conditioning in.
Yeah, the heater, the hot water heater, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he made it his own. And it would seem nobody's rushing to kick Steve out of his apartment. So, I mean, all is good in the world. I would do it that way if I were in Steve's situation. Definitely. I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't think about how the landlord's taking advantage of me by making all these improvements. No, it's about you making your life as, and I don't think that's what Mike was implying, but it's all about your comfort of living, how you want to try and replicate that Western lifestyle, you know? And Tim, below Mike, on that next comment, Tim is saying that he'll be paying less than $300 a month for rent, cable TV, internet, electricity, and water. Life cannot get any better than
Now,
that.
you want to see somebody that's taken a place and made it his own. There's a channel called EX, then Pensive, PNSIVE, Expat.
Mm-hmm.
It shows where he's got this house. He went and rented this house out in the province.
Yeah.
And he's only paying, it's less than $100 a month. I mean, really cheap. It's less, I think it's around $50 a month, if that, if I remember right. And then he's gone in and he's remodeled everything. He's got a 5-year lease on it because the person that owns it is in the States and doesn't plan on being back for 5 years. And he got permission from them. So he's building it the way he wants it, adding in stuff, which they gave him permission to do. So he's actually improving the place a lot, but he's paying for that as he goes.
Right.
You know, and he's, like he says, it's going to be 5 years. So he figures it's worth it. He's getting what he wants. And
midlife wandering is killing me. Our water bill in Southern Leyte was 52 pesos a month, and we get our drinking water from the mountain spring. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. During the summer, the water supply slows down to almost nothing. Yeah, you know, lately, I'll tell you what, midlife wandering. Here's what's been bugging me lately. I know it's going to sound stupid. You know, people are gonna say, "Oh, Dan, you're spoiled," you know. But the water pressure thing is so inconsistent here. We're on city water, right? And so, you know, Saturday, the water supply is the pressure is lousy, even when we got the pressure pump going. And so the reason is because everybody is doing their laundry on Saturday. And so when I get in there and I start taking a shower, I usually wait for, maybe I'm waiting too long on Saturday to take a shower. I usually wait till midday until the water heats up a little bit. And then I'll go in and I'll take a shower. But I can't stand that I can't stand that trickling of the water, you know, when it's time for me to take a shower. I just don't know what it is.
That's almost because I'm talking about here in the States now. That's almost as bad as taking a cold shower.
I was telling Minnie, I'm so damn spoiled that what we're going to do is, I don't know if in some of the videos you saw that centralized water heater that's been sitting around here forever.
Yeah.
I might use that and convert it to a water storage tank because it's sitting right here. It's not doing anything. And then we'll just run that water pump consistently so it'll fill up this water tank. And then what we'll do is, and then the water pressure should be fine any day, any time, any of the day. Yeah. Once that thing is filled up, this is about 40 gallons. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. It's about 40 gallons. And 40 gallons is plenty in order to get a nice pressure of water going consistently.
Oh, yeah. Hey, midlife, if you type in LLL, nothing before it, nothing after it, my Nightbot will drop your channel. Midlife is a Filipina married to a Caucasian. They still here in the States, but they just retired. They're moving back to the Philippines in June. They're waiting for their son to finish school. Then they're going to move back. And they already have their house. They built it a few years ago. They lived there for a couple of years, and they came back to the States for a while,
You know, when Minnie and I first got married, you know, she was like a parrot when it came to. I think there might be people in the chat that have experienced this. You know, where every 15, 20 minutes of every day, you know, I was hearing this house and lot, house and lot, house and lot, quack, 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 you know, and
Yeah.
so the house and lot materialized. Go figure. She imagined it, and it became her reality.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the Philippines very well, right? Then, like, if you're a single man coming over, renting is the way to go. You got to go and watch. You got to go and watch Overstay Roads, one of his live stream videos or one of his premieres. He talked about this. You know, he'll make you feel like a fool for going in and buying your own place, even a condominium. I mean, I think the worst thing that you can do, in my estimation, is come in there and buy a condominium in our high-rise building that falls apart in 5 years. There are too many variables there that are too scary for me. I want the apartment that is already finished, that I could see, feel, and touch. You know, that's the way that I like it. Where you know, I want to see what I got, and then if I don't like it because the neighbors start playing karaoke at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, 5 days a week, I can just pick up and move.
Well,
You know,
uh,
that's what I like about the idea of renting.
well, especially when I first get there, I want to rent because I don't know how much I'm going to like Cebu. That's where I plan on going first.
Yeah, Cebu. You know what? There's a lot of people, Larry, have been talking about, especially Finn Snow. It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because I thought Finn Snow, he's living in Darwin, and Darwin's in Negros Oriental, obviously, and it's a very, or Negros. And that place is like God's country. You know what I mean? I mean, most of the Philippines is. And so he had talked about how he's a little bit now, you know, he goes into the city and he still complains about the noise, the traffic, and the infrastructure. Cebu is not Manila, folks. It is
Oh,
not the
no,
city of
no,
Manila.
I
It
know
is
that. The thing is,
Cebu is very,
I,
very
I'm
much
just
like
wondering
the
if it's going to be
city.
too big for me. I
Yeah,
might think it's too large, too busy.
Cebu.
Can you just
Yeah,
live in
Cebu
a yacht?
is more like the town. You know what Cebu? Albany. That's what Cebu is.
Yeah, but I
Albany,
don't live in Albany.
with a little bit better weather. No. If I were to compare it to something, though,
Yeah, but I'm
something
just
that
saying.
you're familiar with,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then it would
But
be
what I'm saying is,
Sacramento,
though,
California. It would be
I'm
Albany.
going. I'm going
Yeah.
to Cebu because
Yeah.
if I'm going to be in a large city, that would be the largest I'd want to be in. All right.
Right. Makes
Now,
sense.
let's say I decide, hey, because I'm older now, I may decide I don't want that. Then the places I want to look at, well, there's Davao, there's Ormoc, and I think I'd rather look at those than Dumaguete and Valencia, only because I think it'd be a little cheaper in those two areas. I could be wrong.
Oh, you're wrong.
Hey,
It's getting
it might be the
expensive.
first time.
Dumaguete is like, you can't even tell that you're not in the United States in Dumaguete.
It's because all the foreigners are down there.
People. Yeah, but you know what? I haven't been there. That's the thing, and so that's the caveat. But I'll tell you this. I liked Bohol, and I liked Panglao Beach and all that. But those things were disappointing to me because they've changed so much. Remember, I've been criticized for telling people how things have changed so much. For example, Tim is saying, I don't like large cities, but you know what? Angeles and that Clark area is becoming very, very big. And it's going to become even bigger because once that railway is completed and people start using it to commute into Manila to work. I mean, this thing is going to be an economic boon to that area. And so, yeah, there are plenty of rural areas to live in that are around the large cities. And you certainly will find them in Cebu also. You'll find enclaves where they don't have a whole bunch of people, if that's what you're looking for. But I love the idea of living in Cebu. You know I do. And the reason why is because you got everything you need. You hardly have to get on a jeepney or a trike or a bike or a bus or a Grab or a taxi or anything when you're living in Cebu City with all these great things around you, you know. Hey, you give me a Burger King, a McDonald's. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm about
They're trying to
5 hours away from Dumaguete.
Yeah, Jack, you know what? You know that this is going on, this program in the Philippines. They want to make it so that they don't like the way that the Philippines is bipolar, what do they call it? Polarized. And so what they want to do is they want to connect all the islands together through a series of bridges. I know you know this is going on. And this is the reason why it's so easy now. I mean, when we went to Tacloban to get Minnie's passport done, right? The thing that was amazing about me is all the construction and improvements that are going on and on that road that goes from and they tell me this is happening all over the Philippines, where they're improving the infrastructure to make it easy for people to drive from places like Baybay and Ormoc to Tacloban and then over the bridge onto Samar Island. I mean, and then from Samar Island, they're talking about, I don't know if that's under construction or not, the bridges to the other islands. I think it's a fantastic infrastructure improvement idea. Once you're able to
Tim made a true statement there, Dan, about you.
What's that?
Read Tim's statement.
Tim. Yeah, anywhere as long as there is a Dunkin' Donuts. I would say that would have to be true. That probably the Dunkin' Donuts has become the benchmark of, see, if I know there's a Dunkin' there, then I know there are other things there. I know that there's a hospital. I know there's a Burger King. I know there's a McDonald's, a Shakey's Pizza, you know, all the stuff that I'm interested in.
Now, like I said, one of the things I like about Ormoc, you said they got a good hospital.
Doctor's Hospital, and that's where we're going tomorrow.
And then the thing I like about Davao is they got a 911 system. And
yeah, but you know why I don't like Davao being there, going there a couple of times is because I don't like walking up and down those hills. That's the only thing. So in case you don't know it, Davao's not flat. All right,
that's okay. So, I'm just gonna bike.
If you, oh, geez. Listen, I'm out. I'm out. The whole thing. I've been there. I've walked it.
Well, like I said, I've not been there. It's a place I'd be willing to check out because they say it's very clean. Yeah, they got a 911 system.
Woohoo!
They enforce traffic laws there compared to other places.
Yeah,
and so I like that aspect of it.
That infrastructure improvements that were done in Davao is what got Duterte elected president of the Philippines.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I like that aspect of it. That doesn't mean I'm going to like the city, but there's aspects of it that I like. They also have a decent hospital. You know, Danny from I'm trying to think of his channel, Road to the Philippines.
Right.
He lives in Mindanao, not far from Davao. So that would give me somebody to, you know, he doesn't live in Davao, but he doesn't live too far away.
CBGB, you're exactly right. That well said. Well said. When you see a Dunkin', you know civilization is close by. Absolutely the truth. That's the way I measure it. You know. So by the way, in case you don't know, we don't have any $20. We don't have any $20 Big Mac meals going on here in the Philippines. Not yet. You know, not yet. I'm not saying it isn't going to happen. I'm not saying it isn't going to happen here. Because I do see the cost of things going up.
Hang on, guys. I got to take a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in Doctor's Hospital the end of January.
Yeah.
For about a week. That's about 100 and a lot of aggravation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100,000 peso. I'm like,
I hope your son will choose Cebu also, midlife wanderings. I mean, I don't mind Manila at all. As a matter of fact, I like the grittiness of Manila, but I don't think that I wouldn't buy a condo there or anything like that. I would rent. As a matter of fact, Minnie and I have talked about it. We've talked about going a little bit further north on the island of Luzon, or is it north, or is it south or east? Tim, where is it? San Fernando. You know, I've talked about San Fernando. Is that to the northeast, the southeast? Where is that? Yeah, stay out of McDonald's. Yeah, stay out of McDonald's, Tim, if you can.
You go to BGC and downtown there and go to the Lamborghini store and get yourself a Lamborghini.
Oh, crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yep. Indeed. I've been there. I've seen it. It's amazing. It's amazing, folks. It's insane. Folks, I got to tell you something. I'm just going to be straight up and say this. There is a huge emerging rich class here in the Philippines going on. It is the likes of which I have never seen. I have no idea where this money is coming from, right?
China.
But it's coming from somewhere. And here in Bye City Leyte, this barangay Candanum that we live in, this is where all the government workers, hospital workers, and things like that. This is where those people live. They're semi-professional or professional. I didn't know it at the time. You know, it's a long story how this whole thing came to be, but they were saying, "Oh, Candanum's the place for you. You know, build the house there." And I didn't know it at the time. So the people that are our friends are they're yeah, of course we have friends that are working class Filipinos. Of course we do, because they, you know, everybody they don't separate themselves like they do in the United States by class. Everybody are, generally speaking, they're related to each other, right, Jack? I mean, they're clans. Yeah, they're clans of folks that are related to each other, and so everybody is. You know, if you go to a get together at the church, you go to a get together in town, a fiesta, everybody is mingling with each other. It doesn't matter if you're poor or if you're the richest of the rich. But the whole thing here about living in this area of Candanum is the more as time goes by, you see more opulence. Is that the way to say it? You know, you see more improvement, because the people living here are demanding it. And I'm talking about infrastructure improvement and things like that.
Well, that's to be expected. The more influential people, or the more influence you get as a group of people,
yeah,
the more you want, the more services you want, and you're willing to pay more for it.
Yeah.
So,
I like that city of San Fernando, because if you go in there and you see the architecture and the old buildings, there's something about it that just, you know, that just is so charming. But it floods there. You know, that's the problem. It floods there a couple times per year, and that makes me a little bit nervous.
well, that would make me nervous as well.
Yeah, I don't want to have
That's
to
what I said.
deal
I
with
mean, you know, like I said, Plan A for me is Cebu. Plan B is to look somewhere else. And there's a couple different places. I'm not going to eliminate Dumaguete, but it's not going to be my second choice. It'll be somewhere I will look, because, like you said, there's plenty of
Tim, Clark City
there that, as a Westerner, I would appreciate.
They're building Clark City for the rich and famous, Tim, for crying out loud. I'm not surprised that you saw a Ferrari sitting there in front of the Starbucks at all. But anyway, the same thing. But here's something that I've talked about on the video too. Some of the things that are going on here that absolutely blow me away, and CBGB is reminding me of it, and that is that the decentralized approach that they're now taking for government administration. And so they're trying to, I think what's going on here are things that have happened in the United States before, and that is that the cities are congested with, I mean, especially cities like Sacramento, which is at the hub of California government, where I came from. And they just simply don't want people in there commuting to work every day. Yeah. I mean, and so because it's clogging up the place, but it's also hurting the economy in that it's putting restaurants out of business in the downtown area. It's putting people out of business, you know, and so they're changing the master plan in the city of Sacramento because they know that they want to adopt this decentralized approach to government administration and government services. And it's exactly what's happening in the Philippines right now. Almost identical. If you look at any new structure that's going up in the Philippines, they all look the same. They look exactly like structures built in the United States right now. They have medical offices on the first floor, integrated with commercial buildings or services, and then the resident and then medical services in the building, as Jack probably knows, and then the upper floors are residential condominiums or apartments. And
just like a multi-purpose building.
There's a multi-purpose building, and this is the way the entire world is going. No matter if you go to Russia, China, Thailand, the United States, anywhere in the world. Yep, they're all using the same decentralized approach. And so when CBGB says call centers need to spread in the provinces, they are. I have the fastest internet speed available. You know, I'm on the super highway fiber optic cable. I have a direct line T1 connection now that goes straight from my house to headquarters, to right where it's fed. And they're because it's so expensive, there's only like 5 or 6 people on it. There isn't anybody on it because they can't, because a lot of people cannot afford to pay that monthly service fee for the internet.
Nitban's in Laos.
Nitban's in the house. Nitban, where are you? Are you in Laos? Yeah, he's in Laos. So
I think I'm paying like $20 a month for less than $20, like $9.99 unlimited. But it's with a SIM card. Just put it in my little modem.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I thought about doing it that way too. But they come knocking on the door saying, "Hey, see that line right here? That's your new internet service." I said, "Hook it up. How fast can you hook it up?" And they did it right then and there. I said, "There you go. You have any problems?"
How long is your contract?
I've already blown through the contract thing. You know, I'm on month to month now. I already blew through it. They haven't come in. They haven't come in.
How you doing, Eileen?
You got to renew your contract. Nobody's ever come to the house knocking on the door. You know, I just pay every month. You know, Aileen Cruz is here. Woohoo! Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know if I'll make it to Laos this year or not, but I know we're doing so somewhere a month or two after Palawan. I got to get my crap together, Nitban. You know, we talked about it when we were in Pattaya. Oh, did you guys know Nitban and I did a strange twist of fate? We ended up meeting again in Pattaya. We happened to be there at the same time, and and Nitban's a very kind man. You know, we ended up sharing a few 40s, maybe more than a few 40s. I was pretty drunk. I had a hangover the next morning down there at the pier, at the beer garden on the pier there in Pattaya. You know, and so we had a great time.
Probably Tiger.
You talk about some young man who's living the life. That's Nitban. I'm telling you, young ladies, if you're available, you ought to be sending Nitban a little message, you know. He's got it dialed in. I mean, he lives at, what's your home? What is that, $1 million home, Nitban? What's it worth now in your neighborhood there in California? What is it, about $1 million now? Break my heart. Break my heart. Oh, anyway. Well, when you're a brainiac like Nitban is, when you got skills, that's the earning power that you have. You know, he's not gonna tell everybody that he's a multimillionaire in American money. He's not gonna share that. Yeah, they're already breaking down the doors trying to marry him. What's a man to do? You know. And he's young. He's
All
young.
you that
and
just came
single.
in, type in LLL, nothing before it, nothing after it, and my Nightbot will drop your link.
Ah, Julianne is in the house.
Yeah, Julianne Martin. She does.
Oh,
She. The art is capitalized, but she does painting. She also does some walking around videos.
that's nice. I like walking around videos.
Yeah.
I'm totally about the virtual reality. You know, I think this is the direction that YouTube is going. I mean, and so I got to get the hang of it. I just simply have not gotten the hang of it. Yeah.
I got to learn how to edit videos.
See, Larry and Jack, do you know what I think is going to end up happening? I think that I'm going to end up with one of those with a multi-cab with a little signal booster. By the way, it's illegal to have a cell signal booster here in the Philippines. I checked it out. When I started talking about it, I started looking at Filipino law. It is absolutely against the law to have a cell phone signal booster. I have no idea why, but you could boost your cell signal through antennas, posting antenna on the roof of your cab, your multi-cab. So if I end up with
you get
one
a
of those,
for like 40 grand.
So see, because I want to be able to drive around at all times of the day and at night in Bye City, show people what's going on live, you know, while it's happening. And the only way to do that is you have to have a great signal. You have to have a great internet signal. And so having that's going to be the roadblock. You know, parking the vehicle in order to grab a signal. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to inspire people or not to watch the video.
Starlink.
I thought about Starlink, but you know what? So here's the thing. Starlink is a stationary system. They have a mobile system, but it is very, very expensive. And so you can use Starlink, but you have to spend the money, you know, on the mobile system, their mobile system.
Well, if you remember, Chris in Cebu was limited to where he could walk around because of signal.
Yeah, and so I don't want to be restricted by the use by where I get a great signal. I want to be able to go freely wherever I want to go without having an interruption in that signal. So Nitban says he is a multi-millionaire in Lao money. So 1 USD equals how much?
20,000
kip. Holy cow. I gotta go to, you know, they don't call me
a millionaire there.
Low budget Dan for nothing. That sounds like my kind of place. But by the way, the number one place that people are fleeing to right now, as Nitban knows, is Phnom Penh, Cambodia. It is growing like crazy. I mean, the expats are leaving Thailand for obvious reasons. I've talked about this. Listen, my friends live there. I have lots of friends that live in Thailand. And the whole thing is, but would I live there? I can speak for myself. No way. It's not no way. It's no way in hell would I live there. It's not because it doesn't have anything about the great infrastructure, the SkyTrain, the entertainment, the malls that are everywhere that are the most fantastic anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but they're not expat friendly.
It's the problem is when you're retired, you don't want to have to be thinking about visas. You don't want to have to be thinking about, are they going to change the tax code? You don't want to have to be thinking about all that stuff. You don't want to have to be thinking about, and everybody here in the Philippines knows how things work. We have a tax treaty with the United States. It's very clear. They're coming out with a digital nomad visa. All is good in the world. I'm married to a dual citizen, and so I can come and go as I please. And every exit and entry, I get balik bayan. I don't need to fool with the visas. The only thing I may have to fool with is they'll say, all right, you've been hanging around long enough. Go get a residency card. And then I go down to immigration in Tacloban and I get that thing going, you know. But other than that, it's hassle-free living.
Well, like I said, even if you live there on a visa, let's say you can stay 3 years before you have to leave.
Right. Well, Cebu is a great place because you want to make sure you're able to get those visas in succession. You know, the the only thing about the Philippine visa thing
Peter
is every
Martin.
once in a while they'll put a moratorium on the month on the multi-month visas. So usually it's progressive, right? You go there, you get the 1 month extension, then you get the 60 days, then the 90-day, then the 6 month, and all that. But sometimes they put a moratorium on it, and sometimes it's not straight across the board. It'll be in certain immigration offices. Oh, if you want to get the 6 month visa, they'll tell you you'll have to fly to Manila, you know, and that's not such a fun thing, you know what I mean, to have to deal with. Every man repeats a story is in the house.
Yeah.
Every man repeats a story. Every man repeats a story is here.
Yeah. But like I said, the Thai
Yeah.
they're not really expat friendly.
Well, you know what? No, I wouldn't take it that far. I wouldn't take it exactly that far. It's a different. See, they're not really interested in importing Western culture. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. You know, they repel. It's about the preservation of Thai culture more than it is a rejection of Western culture. Let me give you an idea. I think I know why this is happening. I think I know why it's happened. It goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years. But basically, you know, it grew. It's, you know, when you're looking at the religion, you know, it's religious centric, you know, and so it means everything to them. And so those monuments and those temples that they build there, those belong to the people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to allow you to come in there and exploit it by building a McDonald's across the street from it. I'm going to tell you something. There probably are McDonald's that are across the street from temples, right? But they will fight nonsense like that, like the plague. And if you go into, I'm going to give you another example similar, right? If you go into these McDonald's, right, restaurants, the ones that you're going to see Chinese, you'll see Americans, Westerners inside there, people from Australia. You're going to see these people inside the McDonald's. You're not going to see very, very many Thai people in there enjoying their Big Mac unless it's a special occasion. And so they just don't. So in other words, that's why. Yeah, you know how in the United States you have which is about to end, but in the United States, you know how if you pay the franchise fee, they will put a McDonald's wherever you want them to. This does not
McDonald's,
happen.
all it is a real estate company. That's all McDonald's is.
They're a real estate company. They're not a fast food company. They're all about the real estate. And this may have, Jack, you make a very good point. This may have everything to do why you don't see them on every street corner in Thailand. And it's basically because your profit when you're in a foreign country is coming from the food. It's not coming from the value of the real estate. It's a way different business model in Thailand than it is in the United States, as you pointed out.
Dan, Midlife has a question that is directed towards your expertise.
Amadul says that we plan to get a 13A visa when we get there. Would it be easier to do it in Manila or Tacloban? Huh? Why would you want to get a 13A? I don't get it.
Or 13A, because they don't plan on going in and out every year.
Oh, you mean you're staying there for good and you're not going to be mobile? Because as you know, when you're on the Balikbayan privilege, you know, it's not really a visa, it's a privilege.
But you got to leave every year.
This is a good one for me, right? I'll tell you why. When we entered this last time from Thailand, guess what happened? Midlife. What ended up happening is they stamped Minnie and I's visa, and it was a different stamp. It wasn't the usual Balikbayan rectangular stamp. They stamped it with a pyramid stamp, and then I got nervous. And so when we were in Tacloban and we were doing the interview for Minnie's her dual citizenship passport, we went over to the immigration office and I talked, and it wasn't busy at all. So from that perspective, Tacloban is the better way to get this paperwork done, because it's just a very small business on the top of a hill where all the government buildings are, other government buildings, and it's very easy to go in there and you might only see 3 or 4 people waiting to get their visas extended, and they have all the application process and the officers are there. I just need to see the information officer. So it was our turn to see the information officer. By the way, when you go there, don't use the toilet. It doesn't flush very well. But anyway, a little sidebar. Use the restroom someplace else before you go there. Yeah, and take your own toilet. Don't even bother doing number 2 there. It was a big mess. So anyway,
just in case.
Yeah, take those with you. Exactly. The baby wipes work great. I carry them around with me wherever I go. Okay, so now what ended up happening is, so I take the passports up there because I panicked, because it was after we entered the country we left. They said, "Oh, let me check the Balak Bayan privilege," and then I go in there and I see this triangular visa, and all of a sudden my eyes go, "Holy shit!" So when we were in Tacloban a few weeks later, we went to immigration. We asked them, "Hey, what's going on with this?" And they said, "Oh man, you got one of the first new stamps that were issued. Not all the immigration officers have that stamp." And basically, they're changing the stamp, what it looks like, making it more uniform in compliance with what's going on around the world. And as you know, you now can apply for, you're going to be able to apply for passports and visa extensions online. I don't know how that's all going to work out. But so now the new stamp is a triangular stamp, and then they put good for 1 year. They put the 1 year thing in there, and that gives me the 1 year.
They used to do stickers a while
What is
back.
that? Yeah.
The sticker visa.
No, I didn't get the sticker. I got a stamp, an actual rubber stamp, triangular shape. So and then they wrote in with a pin 1 year. 1 year from the date above. And they did the same thing in both of our passports. So now what I'm thinking, so now I have never thought about filing for a 13A or any other kind of visa, because we usually leave the country within 1 year. We leave, and then, we're usually going on vacation somewhere, and then we come back, and then the whole benefit starts all over again. Now here's the trick. Getting clearance to leave the country. If you're on a regular visa, once you've stayed in like a 13A, at 6 months, I do believe, I'm not sure if this applies to 13A. I know it does apply for the extensions. All right. If you stay in the country for 6 months or longer, 6 months and a day, you have to go get criminal clearance in order to leave the country. With the Balak Bayan visa, you do not have to. You get a 1 year privilege. That's why it's called a privilege. And so that's 1 year. You don't have to go get clearance, nothing. So I could be wanted by the Popo.
ACR iCard.
SSR visa, SSRV.
That's probably retirees.
Yeah.
RRV visa depends on your qualifications.
So, I mean, think about that. Think about the reason why you're applying for the 13A.
Well,
and
she stated that they don't plan on traveling. Their son's still in school, so they don't plan on going in and out of the country.
Okay, but I'm still not
she's
sure.
A dual citizen. She's a dual citizen.
I'm not sure. Right. I'm not sure the 13A is the one you want to go with. You have to check with JR or somebody like that.
Now, her husband is former Navy, so you might
right. So it's got to be $1,500
military.
Yeah.
Visa. That might be a better route to go. You have to have, I think it was like $1,500 in a bank account.
Right.
And then it costs you like
cheap. It would be cheap. Yeah.
For SSRV?
$1,400 or $1,500 to apply, which the $1,500 in the bank account yours. And then if something would happen, like let's say, God forbid, that you would pass away before he did, he wouldn't have to leave. He'd still be allowed to come and go as much as he wants, and he'd be a permanent. He'd be there. He can stay there permanently.
Well, midlife wanderings. Make sure that we get together. You know, when you come to when you're in Leyte,
She lives
give
in
me
Southern Leyte.
yeah, drop me a line. You know, well, if you're in Southern Leyte, you most likely are going to be driving through Bye City at one time or another. You know, what does Nitban say? Yes, Jack. In 2019, I got a 60-day tourist visa from the U.S. and it was a sticker. Okay, so they give you a sticker if you're in the U.S. I don't think you need special exit clearance with an SRRV visa. We better check that out. I don't know that you would need it either. That might be one of the privileges of the SRRV. But I still would check it out. You know,
and it may also be the same thing with the 13A. You may not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. One is people have told me one is better. There's an argument going on YouTube. I haven't paid much attention to it because of my own circumstances. But basically, you have to do your homework on what is the best visa for you to get.
For me,
based
it would
on
either
all
be
these
the
requirements.
tourist visa or the SRRV if I qualify. That would be the ones that best for me. But I'm not going to apply for an SRRV visa until I know I want to stay.
Right. Hey, did you guys know that they put a moratorium on online marriages?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until the other day. That makes sense, though, right?
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. They don't know exactly how to deal with it.
Watch Mike's retirement.
Yeah,
he interviewed a guy that they got married online. It was recognized in the States, but not in the Philippines.
Yeah. He interviewed John. And hey, let me ask you a question. Did you know that prior to that they were divorced?
Not prior to that, no.
No, neither did I.
I don't watch John's channel.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah, it shocked me. But usually somebody would have said something on another channel, about it. Yeah.
But no, I don't know if John had his own channel. I know he's been interviewed by somebody else.
He does. He has his own channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
everybody that lives here has their own channel. It's hard not to see somebody doing a video as you're walking down the street. Even here in Bye City Leyte.
Online marriages during the pandemic, you could do it online. You would be like a video chat. And there was, I guess Utah was one of the places that was doing it. I think that's what John did his through was Utah. And you
John
would do the marriage online. There'd be a justice of the peace or a preacher or somebody.
So check this out.
Married people.
So Larry, if I'm understanding this correctly, how they worked this was she was here in the Philippines. They were both here in the Philippines. And they went and they got a pastor from Utah to marry them. And the Philippines considers that to be a U.S. marriage. So when they got divorced, they went to Guam, right? He goes to Guam where it only requires a 7-day residency requirement, files for divorce, and never had to see the inside of a courtroom.
Yeah. Hey, Dale. No, but because
Del Grady is here.
In the Philippines, they could get divorced because the Philippines never recognized it as a marriage. Because in the Philippines you can't get a divorce.
That's what surprised me about the whole thing is it wasn't it was recognized as a U.S. online marriage.
U.S. recognized it was recognized as a marriage in the United States, but not in the Philippines.
Yeah, as though she lived there and they were married there. That's an amazing thing. Yeah. And so I guess somebody finally said, "Hey, wait a minute, this don't make a whole lot of sense. We better take another look at it." And so they put a temporary moratorium on online marriages.
The Filipino
maybe because people are marrying ladyboys and not realizing
got married to a girl the same way.
You can. You're allowed to take them to the United States. I mean, we don't discriminate race, gender, or anything. And so you can get married if you so desire, and then take your fiance or take your wife or husband or whatever pronoun I'm supposed to be using here. I do apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone. And then you go to the United States and live your life. Is the United States the place that I'd want to go? No, I cannot hardly understand why any Filipina would want to go to the United States and live unless you were you were going to game the system, and there were going to be like 12 or 15 of you going at one time, so you could earn money in that and get your 2 years in that you need of a hospital experience, and then make hella money, and then go back to your country. Otherwise, there's no reason to go to the United States, because it's nothing but a bunch of pain and suffering. As a matter of fact, if you even recent Filipinos, like our friend that went to Kingston, now he was lucky. Kingston, New York is a fabulous place to live. So he ended up getting his visa to go to Kingston, New York, the home of Gerald Celente, by the way, and others. They all the rich and famous all seem to retire there. And he ended up becoming a nurse, what do they call it? An RN in one of the old folks' homes, which is where you start when you're learning how to be, when you're getting your internship and externships out of the way in order to becoming a regular RN working in a doctor's office or a hospital setting. And so I understand that, I really do, but he got lucky. Most people aren't as lucky as he is. He's loving his life there in Kingston, New York. I'm happy.
I got a trivia question for you and for both of you. What is Tim Tebow's, the football player, the ex-football player's connection to the Philippines?
Oh yeah, that's right. There is a connection, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I don't remember.
He was born in the Philippines to American parents. He was born in the Philippines.
Oh, so he was. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and there's some hospital that he goes over there that he does work for
Tox is
children.
Here. Beautiful Tox is here. How are you, Tox? I hope you're doing well. Anyway, I'm doing a video on the 5 main reasons that we moved and retired to the Philippines, and some of them are a little bit too obvious. So I'm not sure it's going to be the most exciting video that I've ever done, but after this live, I have to go edit it, and then I'll post it. But
I'm going to agree with some of
it. Some of it, I think you're going to agree with probably 80% of what I have to say.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to agree.
Does Dunkin' Donuts have anything to do with it?
Well, yes, but you know what the whole thing is? The whole thing is, I will just tell you right here now, had I been married to, let's say, a woman that I met in Mexico, a Mexican national, I probably would be living in Mexico by now. I wouldn't have stayed in the United. The truth of it is, you could throw stones, people have at me, but I would not have stayed in the United States. It breaks my heart to have to watch the economic infrastructure decline, the increase in crime, all the stuff that's going on in the United States. And I certainly don't want to be there when the S hits the fan in a couple of months. Yumi Mango is here. I miss Yumi Mango. I work in the Promise as a trained exorcist. We need them. We need exorcists all over the world.
May the power of Christ compel you.
Exactly. We need exorcists. I need you to perform one right here for me in the Philippines.
The far right needs to be have exorcists, and the far left need to have exorcists.
So the whole thing is that but if you saw my video, what are you? Are you a patriot, a refugee, or are you an expat? I'm going to tell you something, right? You could possibly be all 3. Yes, Larry. That's the answer to the question. You could possibly be all 3, but I mean, why wouldn't?
That was my question to that video of his.
Why wouldn't I be considered a refugee? Look what I was escaping. I mean, a potential civil unrest, discrimination, an economy falling apart in the dumpster, which is my opinion. It's subjective. Gunshots going off in the middle of the night. I don't think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, so take that out. It's pew pew in the middle of the night.
Pew pew.
And police officers chasing people down the street with lights and sirens blaring at all times of the morning and afternoon and evening during sleeping hours. Why would I not want to live in the United States? You tell me. Those
I have a
those
little
reasons
rough.
probably aren't good enough. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that I'm referring to. You would be a refugee because people, if anybody in here, right, if they want to tell me that discrimination is, believe me, it's alive and well in the United States, and it disgusts me. It is alive and well in the United States. It's getting worse, not better. It disgusts me. And so I don't care if you have a different opinion. I'm still gonna like you, because I'm also very, very accepting of other people's views. So
saying discrimination doesn't exist would be crazy, because it does. Racism exists. It does.
It exists.
But I can't say it's worse than ever, because you got to remember.
I love LA.
Wait,
hold the phone, Larry.
It's a lot worse. Now,
are we talking Los Angeles, California? Are we talking I love LA as in Los Angeles, California? Oceanside. Holy crap. If I live my life all over again, CBGB, instead of passing by and not buying that house in Oceanside when I was a young man and I was working sales down in that area from Oceanside all the way down to Tijuana border and even over the border. It was the most stupid thing and uninsightful thing that I've ever done.
Well, it's like you're talking about, California. When I was in the Navy out in San Diego, as a sailor, I could afford to buy a house, and I never did. Because back then, property was a whole lot cheaper back in those days.
Riverside, University of Riverside, in the old Subway shop where it all began. My brother, right, is a graduate of UC Riverside in physics. So you're talking about all these places that I happen to know like the back of my hand. And I agree with you. Even LA. I was Hollywood. I was Mr. Hollywood in the 1970s in LA. So I'm telling you,
San Diego, baby.
Yeah, there was not. That's right. There was not a Friday or Saturday night that you could not find me on the boulevard. Plain and simple.
Like I said, I was San Diego. Man.
I'm not gonna
early 70s to mid 70s. Now, mid 70s to the later 70s, Washington State. I went to Washington State in 76 for a while, then back up there again in 77, 78.
Jack, it sounds like you know what I'm talking about. Anything goes. Anything goes. And I mean, I took advantage of it. I probably will have a very, very short life because of it, as a matter of fact.
I didn't think I'd live to see 30 back in those days.
I'll tell you what, Larry, I don't regret not one single bit of it. So there. Criticize me for that.
I won't, because I had a blast.
You go to the doctor's hospital tomorrow?
That's just life, He said, CB is cracking me up. Listen, CB says, I own motels on Figueroa today. Hey, the shooting that happened, the working girl that was shot dead right there on Figueroa. Tell me it ain't so.
That was my best employee.
Yeah, that was an employee. That was an employee-employer dispute, right?
Yeah.
Tim is saying, no wonder Hollywood has gone downhill since the 1970s. I'm going into, so check this out. I go into these virtual live streams that happen, especially on Friday and Saturday nights in LA and San Diego. LA, San Diego, and Bakersfield are the three. Yes. Oh my gosh. Are you like reading my mind, CBGB? You're in my head. You are in my head, But anyway, we call it the figgy. Hey, now I know that we would be fine. We would be fine hanging hanging around with each other, right? Because of course, that area, that whole area, and now what they call Central Los Angeles, right? Those are all the hangouts. Those are all the areas where my parents grew up. As a matter of fact, I went to school downtown near Washington and Grant. I've told this story many times, at LA Trade Technical College. So I'm not Mr. LA, by the way. People have critiqued me for that. You don't know nothing about LA. Well, perhaps not. LA is part of my genetic makeup.
I've only been to LA a couple times. I've driven.
That's about as many times as you need to be able to decide.
I said I've only actually stopped in there a couple times. I had a friend
Right.
whose mother lived in LA, and we went through there a couple times and stopped and visited her. Now,
Melanie
she was
is
a bartender,
here.
so we were allowed to go in the bar, but we couldn't drink anything because we weren't 21. And she let us
But
come
hey,
inside.
these days, if we're in the LA area, I try and stay off the boulevard. Oh, you went to Long Beach. So I started my college career at LA Trade Tech, and I went to, Cal State Fullerton, and then I ended up graduating from Sac State, Sacramento
Now,
State.
GB, when was you in Long Beach? I was there a couple times. The first time the Navy was still there, and it was a hopping place. I mean, I was just hopping.
Oh, it's
Second time I
hopping.
went in there,
Hey,
the
they
Navy
had a
had moved
pursuit.
out, and it died.
They had a pursuit through Long Beach where the gal ended up driving her SUV right into the ocean at Santa Monica or Venice Pier. I'm not sure if it was Santa Monica Pier, but I know they went through Long Beach, and she said, "Oh, screw this. I'm going to drive into the ocean. I'm going to get out of my car. And I'm going to swim away." And I saw that live, and that's why I enjoy it so much. I love that virtual reality crap. I could spend all day just watching the camera, that's posted down on one of the, the Pike. They still have the Pike then, the wooden roller coaster,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
We're talking wooden roller
like I said, though, in '77, it was the Navy had moved out, so there was a lot of places that shut down by then.
Right.
Because I
But
remember,
you have a guy, Larry. You have a guy now who does live streams Friday and Saturday nights for sure, driving around San Diego, and I love it. I catch that live stream whenever I can. Usually I'll have 4 or 5 screens going all at the same time. This is how much that I'm hooked, and this is what gave me the idea. I mean, when you can gather 4,000 or 5,000 people at one time to watch your live stream, and what you're doing is driving around town, and that's all you're doing, right? Seeing what's going on downtown, then you've got something amazing. You know that there's something to it.
well, my guess is it's probably a lot of former Marines or sailors wanting to see how much
Could
things have
be.
changed, or maybe people trying to get transferred there that are active.
Yeah, I watch. Listen, I get a kick out of watching Smoke and Scan CBGB. So we're like this. We're the same. Yeah, and so I hog the TV set. I hog the big screen in the living room. Yeah. Princess, hey, Princess is here. Princess Slokers, how are you?
Maybe
Good morning.
Lynn.
Where are you guys coming from? Where are you guys coming from all of a sudden?
Church.
There are a couple of you that I haven't seen in my live stream in a long time. And so where do you go? Is there like a YouTube heaven or something you got, or YouTube timeout? Where do you guys go? Yeah. So anyway.
Well, see, Dan, your live stream is my sleeping time.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. It's 6 p.m. Filipino time on a Friday. The worst time probably, but it's the time that my algorithm says that I should be having the live streams. Listen, I'm getting itchy. I'm getting itchy to Damone and Stinky Dan. Listen, I'm getting itchy to do more, but I started the whole thing, but I kind I kind of have myself in a corner right now because every time I go live, I'm giving away money. And so now people have the expectation that I will give money away on every live stream. I created this myself. And so I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to transition into a different, operating mode where, let's say, I only give out money once a week, Friday at 6 p.m. or that's drawing day. And then the other live streams I want to do per week, 3 or 4 of them, I wouldn't be doing it during that time. And I'm not sure I would get the kind of mojo that I need because people are so used to me giving away money.
Yeah. Well, the thing now, Dan, I'm getting ready to change locations where I work. I think I don't know if you know it. I've mentioned it before. I've been working at Amazon.
Uh-huh.
But I work for Securitas. I'm a security guard.
Right.
Now, Amazon put out an open bid for their contract, and a different guard outfit won the contract. Now, a lot of the guards
who won it? By the way, who won it?
GuardWorld, GUA.
Oh, I never heard of them. I've
never heard of them before.
Yeah.
But anyway, they won the contract, and a lot of the other guards are going to stay, and I could stay too, but I get 3 weeks vacation. With my mom being the way she is, I'd rather keep the vacation. I'm going to lose some money per hour, but I'm in a good enough shape that I can do that. I can lose the money, but I'm going to 4 10-hour days. I'm going to be working 6 to 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll have every Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. And this starts on the 1st. Now, the 1st I won't have off because I have to go in for training. And so I'll go in for training probably a couple hours, and then that'll be it on that Monday. Then after that, I'll have every Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Now, with the new site, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get on my phone.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because that fluctuates with wherever you're working at. Now, if I can, at Friday at 6, if I remember, if I can get on my phone, I'll be able to catch some of your live stream. But not this coming Friday, it'll be the Friday after. But I don't know yet. I mean,
we have quite the comedian in the chat, we have quite the comedian in the chat.
Now, CB, GB, I thought that was the Texas National Guard.
That's hella funny. Anyway, so yeah, that sounds so. Hey, you got to ease into it, Larry. You get the lay of the land, and then after a while, when they come to realize.
I'll go in for training a week from Monday.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be a couple hours or so. I mean, unless there's a lot more than normal, because I guess the job is going to be similar to what I'm doing. Okay, what I'm doing right now. So unless there's a lot of difference to it, it shouldn't take too long for me to get acclimated with it. Because I've done gatehouses so much over my career, it's quite a few times I've done that.
Princess, school always takes priority over everything else. I'm a fan. I'm a believer.
Well, like I said, I'll have one of my bills paid off next month if I don't decide to do it earlier. And then it's one bill left besides my car and my household expenses. By the end of the year, I'll be outside of my car and household expenses, debt-free and saving money. But,
that sounds great.
So that's why I want to say, that's the reason why I want to work about 3 more years counting this year. I want a couple of years to save up. Plus, my mom's still alive. She's 98. And then, so I can't really go anywhere until after she passes.
Nip Ann is saying, Dan,
you get back,
Oh, Nip Ann's killing me. You can give out your own crypto coin. Why not? Why not, Nip Ann? School's always a priority, for crying out loud. You got to get that education in.
Well, yeah, you got to get your finances situated.
Yeah, no, being debt free is the number one priority.
That's my goal right now.
Yeah.
could have paid it off this month, but I wanted to make sure I had the cash to pay my taxes because I knew I was going to owe taxes to the federal, which I did. But my state I got money back from the state, so that helped. It didn't offset it completely, but it did help offset it some.
Yeah, that's usually how I do it when it works out that way. This year, though, this year worked out real nice, real nice. In other words, I don't have to pay this year. And so that's how I end up with this computer that everybody's telling me I paid too much money for. Oh, well, it sucks to be me. I keep reminding people I have plenty of money.
Well, once I get myself situated, I won't say I'll have plenty of money, but I'll have enough money that I'll be able to live in the Philippines fairly comfortably.
They say, Dan, you paid too much. I know. I got plenty of money. It's nice to be able to spread it around.
But so yeah,
oh yes. Oh, midlife is saying.
Dan.
Wow. See, so wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Debt free since 2015. Believe me, midlife, when I tell you that it was all an accident, Dave Ramsey had nothing to do with it. Hey, by the way, you know my usual rant about being debt free. The thing that my number one critique of Dave Ramsey, right, is that he doesn't talk enough about how bankruptcy changed his entire life. He's always talking about pay your debt, and blah, 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 blah. We all believe in that, right? Very few of us probably believe that our first thoughts are, oh, I should declare bankruptcy. But that's how his life changed. And so why isn't that part of his program? Have you ever thought about that, you guys? Dave Ramsey, I'm debt free. I just filed for bankruptcy.
I don't follow Dave Ramsey, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah,
that's his whole game is you have to learn how to live on a budget. If you can't afford your rent, you got to move into a place that doesn't charge so much rent. Get those cars and sell them. What are you doing driving around with? What are you doing with 2 cars in the driveway, right? All this other crap he talks about. And then I remind everybody that, hey, he started by declaring bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden he maintained his debt-free status. You see, that's what people forget. Of course, I got lucky. It was dumb luck, and that was that I pay attention to the voices in my head, and the voices in my head were saying, get out now, no. And it was a screaming voice like, if you don't, you're going to get trapped inside here like every other SOB. Get the hell out now. And I listened to that voice in my head and sold my home at the top of the market, albeit a few months prematurely, but it still worked out just fine. And that money is still sitting in the bank today. I'm talking about the profit. So it's pure dumb luck that this happened. And at the same time, a whole bunch of other miracles started to happen, miracles such as student loan forgiveness, for governmental service workers, stuff like that. It all started to fall into place. And so, debt free since 2020, I guess is where it's at. And plus, during the COVID, they were like, hey, Dan, now I didn't do much for a living. I'll admit this. I sat in front of a computer kind of going like this. And the boss would walk by. Dan, you got enough work? I certainly do. And I keep fake stacks of paper on my desk. No one ever checked on me. I was the only one. I was the only one that did this in the entire county, right? This particular program. So I was sitting there. Now what do I do? Shuffle papers once in a while. And then they would say, Dan, we have overtime opportunity for you. They allocated so many millions of dollars in overtime pay. You want some of it? Oh yeah, I'll take some of that. See, that's how it happened. That's how it happened. I started working 12-hour days. I could have worked more if I wanted to. It was up to me. You know, the checks from the government did not bounce. And they just started pouring incentive money on us, right? Okay, so it says we sold everything in 2015, lived in the Philippines till 2018. And from there, we learned we don't need a whole lot to live comfortably. Exactly. Exactly. You discover that you can live a minimalist lifestyle, you know? You don't need 10
Yep.
cars in the driveway. Listen, when Minnie and I, when we returned back to the United States for a visit to visit my mom, regard, Sammy, how are you? I love watching the updates on your motor scooter club. I think that's very exciting. Let's see. What was I going to talk about? When we went back to visit, we didn't rent a car and do all that stuff. You know, we used public transportation. Everybody said we were crazy. We were going to get robbed. We were going to get killed. We were going to do this, right? And so, but none of that happened. You know, I vote for dying of natural causes. What about you, Jack?
Well,
Yeah.
On the 28th, it'll be 2 months since
Old
I haven't
age.
had a red one.
Yeah, old age sounds nice. Dying in your sleep sounds nice. Not getting pew-pewed down coming out of the waterfront hotel and casino because
Like, hey, you.
yeah. 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 As a matter of fact, I bet you people mistake you for Sunshine Shoulders when you're out there walking around. They think you're Calvin.
Calvin, how you doing, man?
I'll bet you many times, Jack, you've been mistaken for Calvin.
I get mistaken as a basketball player years ago. I'm like, does it look like my overweight is a basketball player? No.
Oh yeah. You should probably play for the PBA. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Tim,
Anyway.
what's for old age is not forever.
Yeah.
I want to live as long as I'm healthy.
Hmm.
You know, as long as I got my health, I want to live. Now, if that's
Yeah,
80,
but you know,
that's 80. If it's 75, it's 75.
well, those are all good numbers as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
You know,
remember, I'm
the thing
already
is,
70, so I'd like to go longer if I can, but it all depends on my health.
the whole thing about it is when I got sick this last time, right, I was thinking to myself, man, so this is how it's going to end, huh? I really was thinking that. I mean, it's a horrible way to go, you know, but when people can't find out, they can't discover through lab tests and all this stuff what the hell's going on with you. You know, it's pretty scary, you know.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a friend who was real sick for a while. It took me a while to find out she had Lyme disease from tick bite, but she got it early enough that I think they were, because if they catch it early enough, they could really put a kind of like nip it in the bud. But she had to spend a week or more in the hospital because of it, and then take medication afterwards too.
You know, it's always a good thing. You know, I don't know if you know this or not, but in the States right now, I don't know if this is going on around the world, but in the States right now, they have a rise in cancers in young people. You know, I mean, it's amazing. You know that one of the things about certain types of cancer is it usually affects people that are older, but they're attributing this to what, obesity and different things, right? So, what was I about ready to say? Oh, so you're going to have to take preventative, you know, measures earlier in life if you want to protect yourself, if you want to be able to catch diseases like cancer in the early stages, you know. So, for example, I don't see anything wrong with having things like colonoscopy and things like that done at an early age, like say after age 40 or something like that. I don't know what the CDC recommends, but I believe
50, unless you have a family history.
Yeah, they're saying 50.
That's what
right?
they used to say. They may have changed it, but that's what
they may have changed it. Yeah, hopefully
I got my first
it.
one at 50.
Yeah,
and I've had a few. So
right.
hey, we got Sammy.
So have I. As a matter of fact, I've got to I got to figure
Sammy.
out when to have my next one. You know, it's going to be soon.
How you doing, Sammy?
Hi guys. All good.
There's the
Yeah.
bike.
Hi, Kuya Dan.
How are you? That's a nice bike. A lot of chrome on there, right?
No, it's not my bike. It's my
Oh,
co-rider bike. It's
ah,
950cc.
wow.
950, that's a little bit more
That's
than I would
scary.
want to ride. I used to
That's
ride
a
a
little
750.
scary.
Yeah, I drive that bike too as well. I try it.
No, Tim, who's the new partial owner of the Manila Airport?
Tim, I did hear about that. It's unnerving to me, you know, that consortium they put together that are going to be taking over the operation of Manila Airport. You know, it's a little bit, it struck me as being a little bit bizarre.
Now, that's your bike, right, Sammy?
That's my bike. Yeah.
Now, who's the
950
consortium,
cc.
Dan? I haven't
That's
heard
a
about
lot. That's a lot of power. South Korean company is going to be operating the airport.
it.
The
Oh,
main, they're going to. It's a consortium they put together with the owners of San Miguel and
we
others.
just lost Jack.
Jack, where are you going, Jack? But yeah, it made me feel a little bit funny, you know.
This is the Incheon Airport authorities.
Yeah, like why do they have to contract those services out?
Well,
I
I don't
just
want them
don't
contracted
understand
it out, but they should have contracted it out to other Filipinos.
Yeah. Well, they're Filipinos that are part of the consortium. The
Okay.
largest member, I believe, is actually San Miguel.
Okay.
Yeah, corporation.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, we've sold too much to too many other countries, you know. Here in the
But
States.
you know, it kind of makes sense because maybe they want to make it more friendly towards South Koreans because they come in there and they spend a lot of money. They're big contributors to the local economy. If you know what I
aren't
mean.
they the biggest expats or the biggest tourist in South Korea?
Well, they come in as tourists and they head right over the bridge into you know, the area where all the expensive hotels and the casinos are. You know, they built all those. I think Trump Tower is over there too. They built a whole bunch of casinos over there and over the bridge from the airport.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they have a very large tourist to the Philippines, and they go to Cebu and some other places as well. But Cebu has gambling places too.
Well, yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Tim says he
Oh,
just released
Tim
a
said-
video about it a few minutes ago. I'll have to check that out.
Well, I hope they don't send out the squad to come looking for you, Tim. That's a subject I probably would have stayed away from unless it's just something that you're presenting as being points of fact. You know,
I'm sure that's what he's doing.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to get involved in talking about stuff like that.
You want to stay out of politics.
Yeah, because it's not my country, you know, and I
want to stay out of politics here in my country. Politics.
Yeah, they're gonna get. I mean, you know, it's a good
we lost
reason.
Sammy now.
What? It's a good reason for not getting involved. There's a whole bunch of good reasons for not getting involved. You know, they'll end up suing you for something.
So I said, religion and politics is not a good thing to, unless now if you're a preacher, then I can understand religion, but as a normal YouTuber, those are two good subjects to stay away from.
Oh, Tim's saying, yeah, it's all from the news media. Yeah. You're going AI on us, huh, Tim? You're going AI. Yeah.
Okay.
I see nothing wrong with grabbing video feeds and then presenting them on your videos with your take on them. Yeah, what do they call those videos? The reaction videos or whatever they're calling them. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Sammy. Enjoy that bike, man. That's a lot of power between a person's legs.
Well, air bike's the smaller one. But yeah, that 950. Whew.
Oh man, a 950? No, I doubt that I could barely handle a 250. Let alone a 950.
I can't say that. I used to ride a 750.
Yeah, 750. What kind of 750 were you riding?
It was a Honda, a CB 754.
Yeah.
It was a and it was a 754. The 4 was
Yeah, I
FOUR.
think 125 or 150 is my limit, Sammy. I'm almost sure that 150 would be way too much power for an
I
old
would
guy.
probably
like me.
want 150 to 175.
Yeah, 175. You know what they use 175s for here? They use them on the trikes.
Yeah.
They use them
Well,
on the trikes for a little extra power.
I just think with my weight, even if I lose weight, going up some of the hills, the bigger the bike, the better.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I think Cebu is a good place for you. It's because everything is within a 10-minute or 15-minute
like I
walk.
said,
You know,
if I move to Cebu, when I go to Cebu,
you don't have to get on. You
I
don't
have
have to
no
get on
plans on
public
getting a bike at all.
transportation.
No plans on getting my own transportation.
Yeah,
I'll
because
either
you
be
can't ride
walking
through
or
there
floating.
anyway. It's too dangerous. You know.
Like I said,
A 450. Ooh. Again, that's way more power than I need, Sammy.
well, the
I
nice
would
thing
feel
about a
comfortable with.
450 though,
Yeah.
that one bridge, I guess you have to have like 350 to 450 to go
Oh, it's
across
a
that one bridge
requirement.
in Smooth. You can't go across with the smaller bikes.
Yeah, that's right. Some of the bridges are they have requirements before
Yeah,
you can
that
go
new
there.
bridge in Cebu, the newest bridge, it's got a requirement, and it's got to be a big bike. And when I say big, at least 350 to 450, somewhere in there.
You know what's really weird? What I find to be bizarre is there's a battle going on, especially in Manila. You're reminding me of something. So I saw an electric bike getting a ticket. And I asked
It's illegal to drive electric bike.
I did not know that, Jack. It shocked me. They want the electric bikes and stuff off the throughways. They don't want them riding on the highway.
Mhm.
So there's a
Probably not
fight
enough
going
power.
on. There's some kind of political fight going on, and I'm not sure what political factions are involved. But on the big highways, they don't want those electric things on there.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's probably not enough power to keep the speeds up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be my guess.
Nip Van, he did what? 1,100-kilometer bike ride in India on a 125cc. That's crazy.
Well, I agree with you. I wouldn't want to do that on a 125, but
How many times did you have to change the oil in the plugs? Bye, Tim.
hey,
Good
Tim,
luck
take
with
care,
the
man.
move.
Palama, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Glad you was able to come up.
It was nice
Yep.
seeing you, Jack. I hope you're feeling well.
Yep, I'm still breathing.
All right.
I'll see you guys
And if you send them smoke signals, I'll read them.
next
Hey, my grandmother was half Indian. My grandmother was half Native American. Okay, I'll read the smoke signals. She was raised on the reservation.
Yes.
See y'all.
Bye. Take care.
care.
Yeah, anyway, that's all I got today, I think, myself, Nip Van was saying he only weighed 150 pounds that time, though. The truth comes out. He weighed.
Man, the last time I weighed 150 pounds, I was a teenager.
He weighed less from the bike.
Younger than that. I was in my mid-teens.
He weighed half as much as the bike did.
I doubt if 125 weighs that much. Does it?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Last time I was on a bike, I broke my leg in 3 pieces. So,
well, I can't say that about my last time I rode. That 750, I did wreck it once. Cut my chest here from about here to there, about an inch deep. The spoke coming off the back wheel caught me and ripped me open. And I had a bruise on my leg real bad. But I rode that same bike about 2 or 3 weeks later. I was riding that bike again once the stitches came out of my chest. And I rode that same bike for about another 3-4 years. But yeah, that was I'd say about another 4 years after that. And believe it or not, the very next year, my insurance went down on my bike. The reason for that was I had my younger brother listed as a writer, and he hit the next age bracket. So the
went up.
savings I got off of him hitting the next age bracket was more than offset the cost of the wreck. So,
Oh, okay. It went down. It went down, not up.
yeah,
It went
it-
down. Yeah.
all because
Or
my
it stayed
brother,
the same.
like I said, I had him listed as a permanent writer. So
I
if he
gotcha.
wanted to go out of state, he was listed. He could go anywhere he wanted. Because if I was at work and he wanted to borrow the bike, I told him just take it. So he knew he could take my bike whenever I wasn't using it. All he had to do was let me know. And if he wanted to go somewhere, he just went. He just had to buy his own gas. That was it. And I had my bike was 9 months riding, 3 months storage, which meant you couldn't ride in January, February, December, January, and February. I could not ride the bike, but March through November I could ride the bike. Now I didn't ride it too much in November, but I did ride it quite a bit in March back home because in the afternoon it'd be up in the 50s usually in March. So you just got dressed up and your bike had been up all winter. You were anxious to get back out on it when you were a rider. So I'd get back out on riding the bike. But
Well, I haven't. I'm looking at my screen. I haven't. I don't think that I've glitched yet. And also, it looks like the virtual reality picture is holding up okay. So that's all a good thing.
yeah, I haven't seen you glitching at all.
That's good. So that was the main thing, that I wanted to solve that problem. I wanted to solve the glitching and buffering and all that stuff by using a direct T1 connection, and then I wanted to boost the memory so that my virtual reality would be able to sustain itself. So I boosted up the RAM and then ran a direct T1 connection. It seems to be working out.
Now, when you say virtual reality, is that your background?
The background, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to be able to do in future live streams, I want to be able to run video and do all this other stuff at the same time. If I wanted to make a point about something, I wanted to present give a multimedia presentation. I didn't want it to glitch during that presentation, something like that.
I understand.
So I don't know how to do it. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do it on the laptop. My laptop is still here, though.
Yeah, that's something when I finally, even if I just go for a few months and decide I want to come back, I want to send my desktop over. And I'll take my laptop with me. That's the thing is, I do have a laptop and a desktop.
Yeah, you could send your desktop over in a Balik Bayan box.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'll have to find out where there's one at, and then I got to figure out where I can send it to. Because you got to have an address to send it to. You can't just say, send it to Cebu, Philippines.
Oh no, actually, you probably could send it to a hotel, or something like that.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll know that when I get closer to going.
Yeah.
Because I'll either.
I also have. I was just looking at it. I also have this doohickey. I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah.
This plugs into USB, and this makes the desktop wireless. So It's a little antenna device that, if I wanted to go wireless,
I can see it.
Yeah. Little antenna.
Yeah, it's got the. Hang on a minute.
I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. Maybe I'll end up using this on the laptop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I need it. But anyway, everything's going okay. Listen, I'm going to get off.
A plug like this to plug into the computer.
Yeah, USB.
And then it's got that little antenna that sticks up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
This is one of these things you can plug into the computer and then plug in.
I got
devices.
A USB hub.
No, 4. There's a 4th one there. But
I got a
don't
USB
use that one because
hub.
I got another one that has more plug-ins.
I got 8 USB connections here if I need them. I got 2 HDMIs, 1 DVI, 1 VGA plug-in. I don't know why I have all that stuff. I was trying to ask the computer guy last night, why do I need all this stuff? I don't know. He's got his answer.
LV's still here.
LV.
That's what I
You're
did
number
earlier.
one, not number two. Don't ever change.
Yeah.
Oh my
His
goodness
first
gracious.
live stream, LV's
LV
made
is
a couple weeks.
LV's pretty easy to get along with. I like LV.
Oh yeah. She
You know,
uh
I like LV a lot.
LV, how's Sir Rob doing? Oh, in case you don't know, Sir Rob's her boyfriend.
Sir Ron.
No, Rob. R-O-B, Rob.
Sir Rob. Oh, okay. Is that an American? Oh, of course it is. Sir Rob.
Yeah. Well, he's an American of I believe Mexican descent,
Ah,
like Jerry.
oh, I see. That's nice. All right, good for you, LV.
In case you didn't know, Jerry's also Mexican descent. Jerry, I call South Texas home.
Well, you know what's wrong with Mexican?
Nothing. I'm just saying, So
I'm Mexican descent.
yeah,
I'm also Filipino descent with my last name, Herrera. We're all Filipino and Mexican under the skin, or Spanish.
hey, I'm a mutt.
Yeah, maybe you're not, Larry.
I'm a mutt. I got a lot of different types of blood in me. Like I said, Native American for one. Very little Native American. But
Yeah, it's so weird the way that they speaking of having this conversation, and it's sort of weird how everybody in the States, they like to, even here, they like to categorize you, but here it is not, there's no evil intent. It's a genuine curiosity. For example, right, every Canadian that I've ever met who comes to the Philippines has been referred to as an American at one time or another. And also Europeans. Oh, where are you from? Even though you tell them, oh, I'm from England. Oh, you're American. That's what they say. It cracks me up.
You're caught him.
Yeah, exactly. It just cracks me up.
I
don't know what to make. Okay, let's go back to history 101. Let's talk about where Europe is and how the United States came to be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where England is and Great Britain.
Well, there's a lot of my cousin George. They hosted a foreign student from I want to say France. And he comes over here and he doesn't realize how big the United States is. He's thinking, because this is a long time ago. There's probably 20.
Yeah, Europe, you can go
about
from
30 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah, the European nation, right? You can go from north to south in a day and a half with a train ride on a train, right?
Well, not only that, they don't realize that our country is equal to about 50 of their countries.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking, well, you're big, but they want to go from like Terre Haute, Indiana to DC, and then from there to somewhere else. And I was like, wait a minute, how long do you think it's going to take?
You're reminding me of the Disneyland story, right? Where people fly into Sacramento and then I ask them, well, where do you want to go? They say, can we go to Disneyland in Hollywood? And I'm sitting there going, how do I break this to them?
It's a day and a half, buddy.
Exactly. How
you
do I
drive down there for one day, spend the next day running around, then come back the day
after? We ain't got no Disneyland up around here, these parts. You have to get on a plane and fly there.
I got to go to Disneyland when I was in boot camp.
Listen, Nipan, did I say, Nipan, can we clear this up once for all? I never told anybody that you worked in a 7-Eleven. I never did. You're a new product developer. You're in a special category all by your own. Did I ever talk Simpsons with you or anything like that? Abu? I never did that.
Oh, by the way, Dan, seeing your hat here, I have a hat very similar to that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah,
I
nice.
bought it. It's a sun hat, so I bought that for the summer. It's got that
Nice.
little thing there. So we'll see how
Nice.
we like it. And it's got the wider brim to help block the
You
sun.
know, I started wearing the hat again because people said we don't recognize you no more, Dan, without the stupid hat. And I said, "Oh,
Well, mine's a
okay."
little different because it got a little more of a point in the front than
Mhm.
yours.
Mm-hmm.
But it's material-wise, it's very similar.
By the way, Nitban, have you ever thought as a sideline you could always buy a 7-Eleven franchise?
Quit giving that man a hard time.
He says, "Don't you have a cell phone or computer that needs to be fixed? I'm here for you."
555, baby.
Oh man, thanks for playing along.
Yeah.
That's funny. Listen, don't ever confuse a new product developer with the IT help desk. Yeah, they're completely separate things. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that man Dan deserves a hard time.
Absolutely, all the time, 24/7. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope in your sabbatical, is that what we're calling it this time, Nitban? Hey, Nitban, I hope during this sabbatical, we're able to hook up in the Philippines. I don't know if you have plans to come in this way. Or maybe, I don't know if you have any plans of going to Kuala Lumpur or Cambodia. But keep me in the loop, and then maybe we can meet up again in another foreign land. That would be kind of cool, to meet up again in another foreign land. I'm sorry we missed you when you were in the States. I think you had gone off somewhere, right? You'd gone off to Washington State or some crazy thing like that, or Alaska, something like that. But anyway, have you climbed Mount Fujiyama yet? That's something we could do together. No, I'm never climbing Mount Fujiyama. So I know you climbed a mountain in Nepal, right? Did you climb? What's the mountain in Nepal, Larry? What's the name of that thing?
Kilimanjaro?
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Kilimanjaro or Kilimanjaro or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was the second time that we met there. Well, we spent a lot of time there, right? We spent a lot of time there. But I really haven't seen the place. The whole thing is that I'm usually staying somewhere around, well, this time was in Jomtien Beach. And so the last time it was the actual walking street that we were on. And so I don't know, I know I'm missing out on a whole bunch of stuff. I want to go into we didn't have time for it, but I know if Nitban if I were staying longer, Nitban would have taken me into
Kilimanjaro. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
Kilimanjaro.
You
Yeah.
mean You mean Everest?
Everest. No, maybe I don't mean Everest either. I don't know. A tall mountain somewhere. Did you go to Nepal? What's in Nepal? I want to eat real authentic Indian food. Where do you find that? Buffet style. Where do you find that? With all that tasty bread that you can eat for free. Low budget Dan in the house. Where do we find that, Nitban? But I have a feeling, though, that we're going to be in Bangkok again by the end of the year. I do know that. So maybe it's Bangkok that we hook up in, Nitban, the next time.
Like I said, you travel a lot, so about.
Oh, but I just go to the same places over and over
Yeah, but
again.
what I'm saying is the way you're doing your visa. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word right now.
In the UK, yeah, I believe that. It's been a while since I've been in the UK. Yeah.
But you're doing it the right way because you travel in and out, so you can get that 1-year visa for free.
Right.
Because you're doing it. I mean, you're not doing it to get the visa. You're doing it because that's what you guys do.
He said it's their national food. Now who's making fun? Knitban. Knitban's killing me over here. You know what's going on in the
Yeah.
UK as well as I do. Oh my goodness. At least Knitban has a pretty good sense of humor and a delivery, a deadpan delivery. So if you ever meet him, that's what you're going to get, right? He deadpans the delivery, you know.
But,
Funny stuff. Well, anyway, I guess I better be going along because I have this video to edit that I just made. I don't know how
well,
it's going
then
to.
I'll probably be in it after you leave. So, because I've been
And,
going over 2.5 hours.
Oh wow, that's a long live stream. Okay, everybody. I got to get out of here. Have a great day. We'll see you on Dan and Minnie's journey. And I don't know if I'll have all the changes done for the drawing. You know how I feel about that. You know, we're going to go to one man, one vote, one woman, one vote on the drawings from now on, because I mean, if you wanted to, you could, as long as you had a gadget attached to it, you could have 20 ninja participating in the drawing, and so that means you have a chance of winning. You could, in theory, you could win 20 times over 20 drawings. But instead of that, we have to go one person, one chance to win.
I only got one ninja.
Yeah, and yours won last time, or what you would have won.
That's what they were telling me. That I was in one of the other live streams, and
the
girls
I
were
said,
saying,
well, he's probably doing the 3 S's in the background.
I was doing the sleep.
You were sleeping, okay. All right, Knitban, we'll see you next time.
All right, Knitban, thanks for coming, man. Take care.
All right, we'll see everybody later.
Dan's getting ready to drop off, so I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream.
How do I drop off anyway? How do I push one of these things here, remove from the stage?
Yeah.
What do I do?
You want me to drop you?
Yeah, drop me like a.
All right. All right. You'll have to go ahead and finish dropping yourself, Dan, but I got you from out here. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for coming. And I want you to remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Plus, as always, try to fun. And have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday or your Saturday night. Bye.